Some people don't ruin your life by attacking you. They ruin it by staying close. The most dangerous damage is quiet. It hides in conversations and compromises you dismiss as harmless. Think carefully. Most life-changing mistakes don't come from ignorance, but from influence. The wrong person normalizes chaos. The wrong person weakens standards. The wrong person slowly shifts what you tolerate until reactions feel unfamiliar. Nothing explodes. Clarity fades. Stoic philosophy warned about this centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius taught that the mind is shaped by what it allows inside. Who you keep close matters more than what you promise yourself. Not everyone who supports you wants you strong. In a world of pressure and distraction, you don't have room for people. Your time, character, and peace are limited. In this video, you'll learn the 7 types of people you must avoid, not out of fear, but out of self-respect. One of them may already be closer than you think today. Part 1. The Manipulator, the most dangerous person you'll ever meet. The manipulator does not ruin your life through force or aggression. He does it through closeness. He stands near enough to influence your thinking, your emotions, and eventually your choices, until you can no longer tell where his voice ends and yours begins. At first, the manipulator feels safe. He listens carefully, agrees often, and presents himself as someone who understands you deeply. His words sound supportive, reasonable, even wise. This is not an accident. Trust is the doorway, and he knows exactly how to walk you toward it without resistance. Manipulation never arrives loudly. It enters slowly, disguised as concern. It feels like advice, but carries pressure. It looks like care, but demands compliance. Over time, your decisions begin to orbit around avoiding tension rather than honoring truth. You explain yourself more. You hesitate longer. You feel subtly wrong for choosing differently. The manipulator does not command you. He reshapes your sense of guilt. He makes you feel selfish for having boundaries and ungrateful for having independence. What once felt like free choice now feels like something you must justify. Stoic philosophy warned about this long before modern psychology named it. Epictetus taught that the greatest danger is not external control, but surrendering your judgment. The manipulator gains power only when you allow someone else's emotional reactions to dictate your inner state. This is why the damage is so quiet. You do not collapse. You drift. Small compromises stack together until your life begins moving in a direction you never consciously chose. You cancel goals, you delay action, you soften convictions. None of it feels dramatic, yet everything changes. A Stoic learns to watch patterns, not moments. One conversation means nothing. Repeated pressure means everything. Ask yourself whether your clarity increases or decreases after interaction. Your body often senses manipulation before your mind names it. The correct response is not confrontation fueled by anger. It is restraint fueled by clarity. Pause before responding. Slow the exchange. Observe what happens when you stop explaining. Manipulators rely on reaction. When reaction disappears, their leverage fades. You do not owe emotional access to anyone. You do not owe justification for your principles. Distance is not cruelty. Silence is not weakness. Sometimes withdrawal is the highest form of self-respect. Manipulation thrives on urgency. It pushes decisions before reflection can occur. Stoicism rejects haste because calm exposes distortion. When you slow down, hidden intentions surface. Pay attention to boundaries. A manipulator treats boundaries as negotiable inconveniences. Each time you bend them to keep peace, you lose authority over yourself. Strength returns the moment you stop negotiating your self-respect. Protecting your mind is responsibility, not selfishness. When you reclaim judgment, you reclaim direction, and anyone who needs control over you cannot be trusted with closeness. Part 2. The unstable, reactor, chaos you must never build around. The unstable reactor does not plan to hurt you. He simply reacts. His emotions swing without warning, and everyone nearby pays the price. You feel it as tension, unpredictability, and constant alertness. Life near an unstable reactor feels like walking on thin ice. You choose words carefully, delay honest feedback, and adjust your behavior to avoid explosions. This is not peace, it is survival. The danger is not one argument, it is the pattern. Emotional volatility slowly trains you to shrink. You stop bringing problems, stop expressing needs, and stop trusting your instincts. Over time, your life becomes smaller because calm becomes the highest goal. Stoic philosophy warns against building near chaos. Marcus Aurelius wrote that tranquility comes from governing the inner world, not reacting to the outer. When someone cannot govern themselves, they inevitably disrupt everyone around them. An unstable reactor confuses intensity with strength. Anger becomes an expression. Outbursts replace dialogue. Apologies follow, but patterns repeat. Each cycle erodes trust and creates quiet anxiety. Your nervous system learns to brace for impact. Stoicism teaches that calm is power. Self-control is not repression, but mastery. A person who cannot regulate emotion will eventually demand that others regulate it for them. That burden does not belong to you. The Stoic response is distance, not drama. You do not fix volatility. You do not reason with emotional storms. You protect your stability by stepping back. Space reveals patterns. Silence removes fuel. Pay attention to how your body reacts. Tight shoulders, shallow breath, constant vigilance. These are not coincidences. They are signals. A Stoic listens to reality, not excuses. Over time, proximity to instability distorts judgment. You mistake endurance for loyalty and tolerance for virtue. But virtue does not require self-sacrifice to chaos. It requires wisdom to choose environments that support growth. Strength does not come from surviving emotional turbulence. It comes from refusing to live inside it. Calm is not boring. It is fertile ground for focus, reason, and progress. When you step away from unstable reactors, clarity returns. Decisions sharpen, energy stabilizes. Life feels lighter. This is not abandonment, it is alignment. A Stoic builds his life on consistency, not volatility. Peace is not fragile. It is constructed deliberately and protected without apology. Choosing distance is choosing responsibility. You are accountable for the environment you tolerate. Every day, you decide what energy has access to your mind. This choice shapes character, health, and future. Do not confuse compassion with exposure. You can wish someone well without placing yourself in harm's path. Boundaries are not punishments, they are architecture. They keep what is stable intact. The Stoic path is simple, but not easy. Choose calm. Choose consistency. Choose people who regulate themselves before they reach for you. When chaos knocks, do not answer. Protect your peace and let your life grow stronger because of it. Calm companionship builds trust. Stable minds create stable futures. This is why Stoicism values serenity over intensity. Guard it carefully, and your days will reflect that wisdom quietly, steadily, without regret or repair later on. Always. Part 3. The Moral Corruptor. How you lose yourself without noticing. The moral corruptor does not confront your values directly. He approaches them gently, almost respectfully, and asks you to bend them just a little. Nothing dramatic, nothing obvious, just enough to make life easier, smoother, more convenient. At first, the compromises feel harmless. A small lie to avoid tension, a shortcut that saves time, an agreement that feels practical, even smart. You tell yourself it does not matter, that it does not define who you are. But repetition changes meaning. What happens once becomes acceptable. What becomes acceptable becomes normal. This is how character erodes, not through collapse, but through quiet permission. The moral corruptor often presents himself as realistic. He laughs at ideals. He frames integrity as outdated or naive. He speaks confidently about how the world really works. Slowly, you begin to doubt your inner resistance and trust his certainty instead. Stoic philosophy treats this as one of the most dangerous forms of influence. Marcus Aurelius warned that the soul is shaped daily by what it agrees to tolerate. You're not ruined by a single failure, but by the gradual abandonment of standards you once respected. Over time, your inner dialogue changes. You rationalize choices that once disturbed you. You explain away discomfort instead of listening to it. The quiet signal that once guided you grows faint. Nothing breaks, yet something important disappears. That is the danger. You drift without realizing it. The moral corruptor never accepts responsibility. He insists that everyone does the same thing. He argues that success requires flexibility. What he never mentions is the cost. When integrity weakens, clarity follows. When clarity fades, self-respect soon follows. Stoicism teaches that virtue is not decoration. It is structured. Without it, achievement becomes empty, relationships lose depth, and confidence turns brittle. You may gain advantages, but you lose alignment with yourself. The Stoic response is not debated. You cannot argue values with someone who benefits from your compromise. You cannot explain principles to someone invested in breaking them. The response is distance. Awareness comes first. Pay attention to how you feel after agreeing to something that violates your values. That discomfort is not weakness. It is perception. It is the part of you that still knows the truth. Walking away often feels lonely. Integrity usually does. But solitude with self-respect is lighter than belonging built on self-betrayal. The Stoics understood that a clean conscience is a form of freedom. Every decision trains your character. Each choice moves you toward firmness or erosion. No choice is neutral. Proximity shapes behavior, and behavior shapes identity. The moral corruptor loses influence the moment you stop bending. No confrontation is required. Quiet consistency is enough. When you refuse to compromise, the pressure dissolves. In Stoicism, character is destiny. Protect it early, protect it quietly, and protect it without apology, because once it is lost, everything you build rests on unstable ground. Part 4. The envious person, the one who resents your growth. The envious person rarely reveals hostility openly. Instead, resentment hides behind politeness, humor, and faint praise. On the surface, they seem supportive. Beneath it, your progress unsettles them. Your growth reflects what they avoid facing in themselves. Envy does not shout, it whispers and watches. At first, the signs feel subtle. Compliments come with hesitation. Achievements are acknowledged briefly, then minimized. Your success becomes a topic they quickly redirect or quietly undermine. You sense discomfort, but nothing you can point to clearly. This is how envy protects itself, by staying ambiguous. Stoic philosophy understood envy as a reflection of inner disorder. Seneca wrote that no one is more tormented than the person who cannot rejoice in another's success. Envy is not about you. It is about unresolved comparison within them. Over time, proximity to an envious person alters your behavior. You share less. You downplay achievements. You hesitate before celebrating milestones. Not because you are humble, but because you have learned that your progress creates tension. That is the hidden cost. You begin to shrink to keep others comfortable. The envious person may never attack directly. Instead, they plant doubt, a casual remark, a skeptical tone, a reminder of risks when you feel confident. These comments accumulate, slowly weakening your momentum. Stoicism teaches that external approval is unstable ground. When you seek validation, you place your peace in other people's hands. Envy thrives in that space. It feeds on attention and comparison. A Stoic learns to guard achievements quietly, not out of secrecy, but out of discipline. Success does not require an audience. Growth does not need permission. Pay attention to how people respond to your wins. Genuine allies feel inspired, not threatened. They expand with you. Envious individuals contract. Their discomfort grows as you rise. You're not responsible for managing someone else's insecurity. You do not owe smaller dreams to protect fragile egos. Progress will always unsettle those unwilling to grow. The Stoic response is restraint. Share selectively. Celebrate privately. Let results speak without explanation. Silence protects momentum better than justification ever could. Distance is not punishment. It is preservation. When you stop offering access to your inner victories, envy loses its influence. Without comparison, it has nothing to feed on. Your focus returns to the work itself. Stoicism teaches that self-mastery includes emotional economy. Where you invest attention determines where energy flows. Waste neither on resentment nor on approval seeking. True confidence does not announce itself. It moves steadily forward, unaffected by praise or resistance. When you live this way, envy becomes irrelevant. Guard your progress. Protect your momentum. The envious person cannot walk beside you for long. Growth creates separation naturally. Do not resist it. Alignment matters more than familiarity. In Stoicism, peace is not found in being admired, but in being aligned with purpose. Walk your path quietly and let others confront their reflections without your participation. Part 5. The Chronic Victim, the one who drains your strength. The chronic victim always has a story. Something is always happening to them, and it is never their responsibility. Circumstances are unfair. People are cruel. Life is against them. At first, this awakens compassion. Over time, it creates exhaustion. The danger is not their suffering. It is their refusal to change. A chronic victim does not seek solutions. They seek sympathy. Every problem is described in detail, yet every suggestion is dismissed. Advice becomes criticism. Accountability feels like an attack. Slowly, you learn that listening never leads to resolution. Stoic philosophy distinguishes between hardship and helplessness. Epictetus taught that while events may be outside our control, our responses never are. The chronic victim abandons this truth. They surrender agency and invite others to carry the weight. At first, you step in to help. You offer time, energy, and reassurance. You adjust your schedule, soften your boundaries, and stay available. You tell yourself this is kindness, but kindness without limits turns into self-betrayal. The pattern becomes familiar. They complain, you console, nothing changes. Over time, the relationship shifts. You become a container for frustration rather than a partner in growth. Their problems remain constant while your energy slowly disappears. You feel drained after conversations, yet guilty for wanting distance. Stoicism teaches that compassion must be guided by reason. Helping someone does not mean absorbing their suffering. When empathy replaces boundaries, both people suffer. The chronic victim subtly resists your growth. Your progress highlights their stagnation. Your stability challenges their narrative. Without intending harm, they anchor you to their state by constant crisis. They may say they need you. What they really need is avoidance of responsibility. A Stoic response begins with clarity. Notice repetition. Notice how problems never evolve, only repeat. Recognize when your presence enables stagnation instead of strength. You are not required to rescue capable adults. You are not obligated to sacrifice your peace to prove compassion. Boundaries are not abandonment, they are honest. Distance creates truth. When you step back, patterns reveal themselves. Either the person rises to meet responsibility, or the cycle continues without you. The Stoics believed strength comes from self-command. A person who refuses to claim their agency cannot be carried indefinitely. Doing so weakens both parties. Let go of the role of savior. Release the need to fix. When you stop absorbing someone else's suffering, your energy returns. Focus sharpens. Calm settles back in. This is not cruelty. It is aligned with reality. Choose relationships that move forward, not ones that circle endlessly. Support growth, not dependence. In Stoicism, the highest form of compassion is encouraging responsibility, even if that means stepping away. You're allowed to protect your strength. Without it, you help no one. Part 6. The disguised critic, the one who weakens you. Slowly, the disguised critic does not attack openly. He hides behind honesty, concern, and so-called realism. His words are framed as advice, but they leave you smaller. After every conversation, doubt lingers longer than clarity. At first, the criticism seems helpful. He claims to be direct. He says what others won't. You respect honesty, so you listen. That is how the door opens. The danger lies not in feedback, but in repetition without construction. True guidance strengthens. The disguised critic only points out flaws. He rarely offers solutions, and when he does, they diminish your confidence rather than sharpen it. Stoic philosophy draws a clear line between correction and corrosion. Seneca wrote that criticism should build character, not wound it. When words consistently erode self-trust, they are not guidance. They are in control. Over time, exposure changes your inner voice. You second-guess decisions that once felt solid. You hesitate before acting. You replay comments long after they were spoken. The critic no longer needs to speak. His voice has moved inside. That is the real damage. Self-doubt becomes a habit. The disguised critic often masks insecurity. Your progress threatens him, so he reframes it as recklessness. Your confidence unsettles him, so he labels it arrogance. He does not need to stop you directly. He just needs you to slow yourself down. Stoicism teaches discernment. Not all opinions deserve weight. Wisdom is knowing whose words shape your mind. When you allow unqualified voices access to your inner world, you surrender authority. Pay attention to the pattern. Constructive feedback clarifies action. Destructive criticism clouds it. One leaves you motivated. The other leaves you drained. A Stoic response is filtering, not confrontation. You do not argue every comment. You choose what enters your mind. Silence is often the strongest boundary. You are allowed to reject feedback that lacks substance. You are allowed to trust your judgment. Confidence is not arrogance when it is rooted in reflection. Distance restores clarity. When you step away from constant criticism, your instincts recover. Decisions feel cleaner. Movement becomes easier. The Stoics valued inner sovereignty above approval. Marcus Aurelius warned against letting others govern your sense of worth. No one who undermines your self-command deserves influence. Stop explaining yourself. Stop defending your path. Let results speak. The disguised critic loses relevance when you no longer seek validation. Without your attention, his influence fades. Your energy returns to creation instead of defense. Choose advisors carefully. Seek those who challenge you without diminishing you. Growth requires friction, not erosion. In Stoicism, strength is quiet certainty. Protect it. When you guard your mind, you guard your future. And without apology, you move forward, lighter, clearer, and finally free to act. Part 7. The energy drainer, the one who leaves you empty. The energy drainer is not aggressive, dishonest, or openly hostile. In many cases, there's nothing obviously wrong with them. They do not insult you. They do not demand. Yet every interaction leaves you tired, heavy, and unfocused. This is the most confusing danger of all. The energy drainer operates without conflict. Conversations feel harmless, even pleasant, but something subtle is lost each time. Your motivation dulls, your clarity fades. You feel strangely depleted without understanding why. Stoic philosophy takes this seriously. The Stoics believe the body and mind speak before logic does. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the soul reacts instinctively to what is misaligned. Fatigue after interaction is information. The energy drainer often lives in constant emotional noise. Endless complaints, unfocused stories, unresolved problems, or low-level negativity fill the space. None of it is dramatic. All of it accumulates. At first, you ignore the signal. You tell yourself you are being judgmental. You rationalize the exhaustion. You assume it is your responsibility to be patient. But patience without awareness becomes self-neglect. Stoicism teaches attention to inner states. If your peace consistently disappears around someone, that is not coincidence. That is alignment failing. The danger is gradual. You begin avoiding meaningful work after contact. You feel mentally foggy. You lose momentum. Over time, your standards slip, not because of persuasion, but because your energy no longer supports discipline. The energy drainer does not need intention. Influence does not require malice. Proximity is enough. This type of person often resists growth unconsciously. Your focus highlights their stagnation. Your discipline reflects their avoidance. Without meaning to, they pull conversations toward distraction and emotional heaviness. Stoic wisdom values conservation of inner resources. Energy is finite. Attention is finite. When they are wasted, character weakens. The response is awareness, not blame. You do not accuse. You observe patterns. You notice how your body feels before and after interaction. You trust the signal. Distance is medicine. Reducing exposure restores clarity. Shorter interactions. Less emotional engagement. Clear boundaries around time and attention. You're not responsible for carrying ambient emotional weight. You're not obligated to absorb unresolved states. Stoicism does not demand self-sacrifice to exhaustion. When you protect your energy, your discipline strengthens. Focus returns. Calm becomes stable again. This is not selfishness, it is maintenance. The Stoics believed virtue requires vitality. A drained mind cannot act with reason. A depleted spirit cannot practice restraint. Guarding energy protects virtue itself. Let go of guilt. You're allowed to choose environments that nourish rather than drain. This choice shapes your days more than ambition ever will. Energy drain is often invisible until distance reveals contrast. When you step back, you notice how light life feels again, how quickly motivation returns, how easily silence settles. That is clarity. The energy drainer fades when access ends. Without your attention, the pull disappears. Your responsibility is not to fix them, but to remain aligned. In Stoicism, peace is not accidental. It is preserved deliberately. Protect your energy because from it comes focus, discipline, and the strength to live according to reason. Remember that calm is not emptiness, but readiness. When energy is preserved, judgment sharpens, reactions slow, and priorities become obvious. You stop reacting to noise and return to intention. This is why the Stoics chose simplicity, silence, and measured company. They understood that who surrounds you determines how you think, and how you think determines how you live. Choose environments that allow strength to regenerate. Choose people who leave you steadier, not scattered. Over time, these quiet choices compound into resilience. Nothing dramatic is required. Only consistency, only awareness, only the discipline to protect what fuels your reason. Without energy, philosophy remains theory. With it, wisdom becomes lived practice every single day. Guard it carefully, and your future will remain clear, deliberate, and firmly under your control. You have just walked through 7 types of people that Stoic philosophy warns us about. Not because they are evil, but because prolonged closeness to them quietly reshapes your mind, your energy, and your character. Manipulators steal judgment, unstable reactors destroy calm, moral corruptors erode values, envious people shrink your growth, chronic victims drain strength, disguised critics weaken confidence, energy drainers leave you empty. None of this happens overnight, but all of it happens inevitably if left unchecked. Stoicism is not about fearing people. It is about choosing wisely who has access to your inner world. You cannot control others, but you can control distance, boundaries, and attention. That is where real power lives. Take time after this video to reflect. Notice patterns. Pay attention to how you feel after interactions. Practice stepping back without anger, without explanation, and without guilt. Protecting your peace is not selfish. It is discipline. If this video helped you see something more clearly, take a moment to apply it today. One small boundary can change everything. Thank you for spending your time here and choosing depth over noise. If you want to continue learning how Stoic philosophy strengthens clarity, resilience, and self-mastery, subscribe and stay with us. I'll see you in the next video.